All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wrestlepoint. Today's gonna be a little bit different. Normally, today we'd be reviewing SmackDown and Rampage. However, due to a variety of circumstances, not all of us have been able to watch this week's shows. So we're actually going to be flexing what we were going to do next Friday, and we're going to move it up to today, which is our draft for creating the perfect wrestlers. So, for those of you that have not watched, that did not watch our fantasy booking from yesterday, we explained it there. Basically, what we're going to be doing, we are going to have a snake style draft where we are going to select wrestlers past or present who we would pick to build the perfect wrestler based on a variety of categories, which for this are going to be wrestling IQ, mic skills, look, technical ability, high flying ability, connection with fans, and drawing power. And the only caveat is once a wrestler has been taken in one category, they cannot be taken for another. So, for example, if Cody chooses Nia Jax for drawing power, then I can't choose Nia Jax for technical ability. I hope that makes sense. I don't know why I was about to ask you guys, but presumably, I mean, I just so happen to be very prepared for this because I made my list of like the people that I want earlier today. So this worked out really well for me. You guys ready?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna spin a wheel. I'm just doing one.
Yeah.
You spin the wheel on the order.
Yeah.
And then additionally, so we're not like there's no order that we're going in for attributes. Like it's not like round one we're gonna pick connection with fans. Round two is gonna be technical. It's literally when it's your turn, you pick whichever.
And we can pick all time, right? Dead or alive.
Yeah, all time, dead or alive. Are we doing women?
Yeah.
Are we doing women too, or just men wrestlers?
Let's just do men. We can do a woman one different time.
Yeah, we can do that's. I like that idea. We can do a women's one like at a different time. But yeah, that's also so like if Dom gets the first pick and he chooses to pick someone with high flying ability, that does not mean that Cody and I then have to pick high flying. We can pick whichever we want. We just have to by the end fill it out.
Yeah, you have to fill it out. So Dom, if you pick one person for high flyers, you can't pick anybody else for high flyers.
Yeah, I can't pick it twice.
You can't switch either. Once you pick someone for that position, you cannot switch.
Yeah, understood.
All right, I'm spinning the wheel now.
I think I'm pretty. I feel like a lot of my. I feel like a lot of my guys.
Cody's first.
I feel like a lot of the people.
I feel like you're first every time you spin.
Picked for something else.
All right, pick.
Please be me.
It's Eric.
I can't even read that.
It's Eric.
Sweet.
So Dom, start. I think this was the same exact.
It is. This was the same for yesterday's fantasy.
Actually, I'm happy with this. I
just really want to lock up my first one. Oh, come on. My camera's gonna be an issue all night.
What's happening with your camera?
I didn't do anything. It's you know my internet at this point.
All right. Go ahead, Cody.
This is. So I'm going to go. I know this is probably a high. Like this will probably be one that has the most things. I'm going technical first, and I'm going. I think you guys think I'm where I'm going, but I'm not going there. I'm going Bret the Hitman Hart. That's number one.
I love that. Okay. I love that. Okay, so before I make my pick, I'll just give you guys a little bit of something. So I have a list in front of me. I made a list of like my top picks for everything. Bret Hart was my number one for technical. I didn't think I knew I wasn't going to get him. I thought Dom was going to get him, but I thought for sure you were taking Bryan Danielson.
There were three people I could consider for technical if I got later in the draft, but like number one, I don't think you can argue that Bret Hart might be the greatest technical.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree.
He's definitely top five, undoubtedly.
Yeah,
so.
he's.
So now this is how it'll go. It'll go Eric, Dom. We'll go back to back, and Eric then me.
All right. So for me, so I'm starting. This might be an unexpected place to start, but at the end of the day, this is sports entertainment. It's all about how much money you bring in. So I'm going drawing power, and there has never. I mean, when you take because this guy wrestled decades ago, but when you adjust for inflation, nobody affected the box office like Andre the Giant. So I'm going drawing power. I'm sure you guys thought I was going The Rock or Stone Cold, but Andre the Giant is the biggest. Andre the Giant is the biggest draw in wrestling history.
Okay, I'm gonna take somebody's favorite right away, and I'm not gonna take him for interesting reason. I'm going with connection, and I'm going with Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
That's a good pick. That's a
think-
very good pick in a very good category.
I thought of that
Yeah.
one. And then I'm gonna go with
You
Dwayne.
can talk about your pick too. You don't have to just like,
Daniel Bryan. I mean,
you just don't have to go through it.
connection. Basically, I was just like, well, who connects to the crowd? I was like, okay, CM Punk. But I was like, well, like, can he connect?
I think
if I hate to say it, but Daniel Bryan's yes the Mania was a bit bigger than some of Punk. And
I completely agree.
I think
Yeah, like I was gonna say,
I think Daniel Bryan fits.
Sorry,
No,
go ahead.
you go.
Okay, yeah, I was
No,
gonna
you
say,
go. I just want to talk
I said
about
Cody. I said Cody picked my number one for technical ability. Daniel Bryan was my number one for connection with fans. He like a lot of people have great connections with fans, but I think like Daniel, like nobody really started a movement quite like the Yes movement.
Kofi Mania is up there too.
But I love.
I think the Yes
that
movement was.
Kofi Mania is like, hey,
I
if you guys, tip, if you guys need a bootleg, Yes Mania, pick Kofi, the connection. Okay, I'll go into the next.
I think Daniel Bryan. Just let me before.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Bryan would fit into either technical or connection the best.
Yes.
So that's where I was going with him. So those two. So good for you. Because I was going next pick.
I'm thinking about, okay, now looking at my thing, I know some of the technical wrestlers I'm gonna pull out of nowhere, and you guys are not gonna pick them, and they're gonna be great under slap picks. Same with high flyers, and look, because look is pretty easy in my opinion. It's like the bargain bin. Like it's easy. There's so many people who have a good look. Honestly, it's easy to get a good look. Draw and connect and IQ is where I'm struggling at, but I feel like I'm gonna I feel like I have a chance to get the one I really want for IQ. I don't know if I would have the same thing with draw. So I'm going with Dwayne The Rock Johnson with draw.
I was taking him with my next pick for one category. I don't think it was that category.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. So it's my turn. I'm a little bit bummed because The Rock is who I was about to pick for connection with fans, but I can't now. So I'm gonna have to take his. I'm gonna have to take his greatest rival. Connection with the fans of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, honestly, you can switch them out. Honestly, either one. It's like Nike versus Adidas. Both are great products. Or yeah, whatever the comparison. Excuse me, Adidas. Adidas is just.
I mean, when you talk about Nike, I think you put Jordan before Adidas, but
no, because Jordan is owned by Nike. So it's anyways, whatever.
All right, so now this is where I have a lot of trouble because I was gonna take the Daniel Bryan or The Rock was gonna be my next pick, and now they're both gone. So
very happy.
I know there's one person I want to take, but I don't know where to take him. I'm between connection and wrestling IQ. I'm gonna go connection. This might be a weird pick but for connection, I'm going Shawn Michaels. No one could
I like that.
get the crowd more invested in something than Shawn Michaels. Like,
that's not bad.
When Shawn was,
I like that.
I remember Survivor Series. I think it was like he was the last one standing on his team with Stone Cold's job on the line, and like you just felt Shawn Michaels. It was just like the emotion. So let me put this connection and. That he was either going to be wrestling IQ or connection. So wrestling, I think there's just so many people that can talk on a mic. I don't want to take that. I'm gonna go wrestling IQ. God, this is really hard.
Actually, I'm really quickly.
You know what?
Can I ask a question really quick about wrestling IQ? How are you? And how are you guys? And I think this will help for me, but it'll also help for the people watching. How are you? What are you defining as wrestling? It means like work or how well you know what like, or just like your knowledge of how to like get yourself over or like
everything, all of that, business wise.
So just knowledge of how to go about the business. Okay, perfect.
I think it's more about like. If like ring, I think it's all around package. I would say in the ring.
So it does. So you're including like in ring with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, then I've got
like conducting a match, all of that stuff. Yeah.
Then I've got to take. I got to take the guy I was going to pick off.
Okay.
I'll explain later.
Oh,
So
interesting.
wrestling IQ is might be another weird pick, but I'm going the phenomenal AJ Styles with this pick.
Fuck. That
Respect,
was my
respect.
IQ pick. You bastard. That was my IQ.
Yeah, I was
pick.
between him and one other person, but I think Eric's about
Now
to take.
I just wrote down another person for IQ. So this
See, I'll tell you guys. If I'm glad I asked that question because if in-ring work had nothing to do with it, and it was just like knowledge of the wrestling business, I was going to pick Paul Heyman. But since you're including in-ring work, I can't pick him. But
I think
so I'm going.
It's fair.
Yeah, so I'm going to ditch wrestling IQ for now, and so I'm looking at what gets over in today's wrestling because I assume we're making wrestlers to like work today, and people love high flyers. So I'm going to go into high flying ability, and there's an obvious pick here. There's an obvious pick, but I'm an old timer with wrestling, so I want to pick somebody else. It's tough. I'm between the obvious pick is Rey Mysterio,
Yeah.
but
I'm not sure if it's
I mean,
obvious.
it depends on what kind of high flying you want, because it's always.
What can you wait? Let's talk about this. What do you consider high flying? You consider every move has to be high flying. You have to there's certain people that I have in my head that I would consider a high flyer, but
like Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's one
Hardy's
that
a
I think
high
is
flyer,
technically a high flyer, but he's not like a luchador, so he's not like that type of high flyer.
So
So
would
I'm gonna go. I think it's just like
ask a question.
Yeah.
Ask a question before. Would you consider Seth Rollins a high flyer?
No.
No, I consider him I consider him a technician.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna make the less popular pick, but I'm gonna make the respected Dom. I think you're gonna appreciate this. This is a Japanese legend, and I'm sure Cody's heard of him too. We're gonna go change. He's not the best high flyer ever, but he changed the game for high flying wrestlers. We're gonna go with the high flying ability of Jushin Thunder Light.
Fuck, that's a good.
The only reason I know him is because he wrestled Tyler Breeze in NXT.
That's a really good pick, honestly. That's a pick I was thinking about for the high flying. Okay, but I'm really upset that you took AJ Styles. I'm really upset because that was okay. But because I have the back-to-back picks in a way, it's looking like, oh, these are the people that are still missing or not being picked. I do have it's not that bad looking. Okay, so for IQ, you guys might say what you want about him now in 2021, but I pick Chris Jericho. I feel like that's a really good pick. Has had amazing matches, and you can say what you want, but he is innovating and he can get himself over. That has some IQ to it. You know, if anybody knows about as much about the business as anyone, it's probably Jericho. And then I'm really surprised this is falling into my hands and you guys are going to be like, oh, fuck, Kurt Angle for technical wrestling.
Bitch! I was picking him next.
You should have taken him. You should have taken him, Eric.
Honestly, I was surprised he still landed.
Because I've got a guy. I've got
number 3. He's my third. He was my number 3 on technical wrestling.
See, so Bret Hart,
Brian Danielson.
I'll say this to for Eric because he's still into technical. Shibata is still there.
I've got a pick.
Don't spoil picks.
So technical. My number 1 was Bret Hart. My number 3 was Kurt Angle, but I was going to switch it because I love Kurt Angle and I was going to fanboy him. But I'm going to just go ahead and take who my number 2 was, which was William Regal. So technical ability of William Regal.
I think both are case. I feel like Kurt Angle.
So I get 2 picks here.
It's more intense with this technical. Yeah.
I am so happy I got this. I got this back-to-back pick. First one I'm taking is drawing power. I was going to take him last round, but I'm taking this round. Eric, you took a good one back in the day, but I think this guy's a little bit better with drawing. You can say now, questionable his character, but I'm taking Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's some mega draw back then.
That's good. I'm still happy with Rock.
Yeah, they were my
Oh yeah,
Andre
definitely.
Hogan
But
were my top
I
two.
think So and now I have high fly, Mike skills, and look next. I think there's so many people with the look. So many high flyers. I'm going Mike Skills. I'm between two people right now. And it's hard to pick, but this is probably the current day. I'm going current day here. I'm going Maxwell Jacob Freeman.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you cannot doubt how good he is on the microphone.
Okay.
I like that. Now I was gonna go look, but I'm thinking I'm gonna skip that for now, and I'm gonna go to the mic. I got some. It's tough because there is, again, for me, there's a very obvious pick, but then there's one that's just sentimental to me, and then I'm between Ric Flair because he's just in wrestling history. He carried Jim Crockett Promotions just on his promos, and Dusty Rhodes because Dusty had cut fantastic promos, but I'm stuck because Hard Time. Ric Flair is better on the mic, but Hard Times is my favorite promo of all time. But I'm gonna not be a fanboy and go with the obvious pick, and we're gonna take Ric Flair's mic skills.
Okay. I'm gonna go to mic skills as well.
Let's see.
And I have two.
Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do
obviously,
it?
Mr. Punk. Or I'm also thinking Jake the Snake Roberts. That's it.
There's also a good one we're all skipping. I will, after Don says it, I'll say it just because we all have our mic skills after Don picks it.
Yeah.
I think there's one person that we're leaving out of this we're just not thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're just think they're a little overrated.
I mean, what, Paul Heyman or Miz?
I'm not saying anything.
I'm gonna pick Punk. The reason is
for Mike.
Yeah. The reason is I feel like it's such an importance. You can cut a promo face and heel. I feel like that's just importance, and Punk knows how to do both very well. And then with High Flyer, you guys
Is this your last pick?
No, it's my second. I still have looks. Okay. You guys are giving me all the reins, honestly. High Flyer can.
I have one in my head, but I'm not even sure if you guys would consider him a high flyer. So
there's someone that I thought for sure you were going to take, Cody.
I consider him a high flyer, but I'm not sure if you guys would.
High flyer. Now, I could go with the best aerial moves. Or... this is hard. This is hard.
There's so many good ones up there.
I'm really thinking about going very risky on this one. I don't know why. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna play it safe and just pick. Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
I thought about going risky, but I was like, if I have Rey Mysterio as a high flyer in front of me, I'm just gonna have to take him.
All right, so
not bad saying anything bad about Rey Mysterio, but like he's right there.
All right, so I'm between look and wrestling IQ. I'm gonna go with wrestling IQ, and this is the toughest one for me, honestly. I was gonna pick Paul Heyman, but given our criteria, I'm not going to because now but I'm gonna go with somebody who's been mentioned already. Not for IQ though. He was not the best worker, but he has he has an amazing mind for the business. His matches always made sense. Today he's a bit off his rocker, but I'm gonna go with the wrestling IQ of Jake the Snake Roberts.
Good enough. That's a pretty good pick, I'll say.
All right, so I have a look and a high fly left.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go look here first. I'm
debating between
two. I'm taking. Well, this is my last two, so it doesn't matter what. I'm debating between two people right now. And I'm not sure which one has a better look. Oh God. I might want to. I'm going to go I'm gonna go with just to screw you all if you have to pick him. I'm going Randy Orton.
That's
I love that. I
pick.
wasn't gonna pick him, but Randy, Randy deserves to be on here somewhere.
Can I tell you guys who I also was thinking of? And this is the same guy that I said we were all looking over him for the mic skills. Is John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena has really good mic skills.
He does. But like, I feel like he would be if there's more people doing the draft with us.
All right, so now I'm going. This high fly is my last spot. So you guys can veto this if you want. If you both vote that they don't consider them a high flyer, then well, my last pick was going to be Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, I totally consider him high flyer.
That's not a bad pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I love that. I totally.
I was thinking of Eddie as well, to be honest, when I was doing the Mysterio pick.
That's why I said the Seth Rollins thing, because he also does the frog splash. So
I feel like Eddie is more high flyer than.
Yeah, I was just saying. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I love that pick.
My list is done.
All right.
So I have one more. So Dom and I both have look. So obviously I'm going for look here. There's really, you have to pick. There's only been 2 or 3 guys in wrestling history whose gimmick was their body. And there's 2. There's 2. There's 3. There's Chris Masters, Lex Luger, and Rick Rude.
I think there's one more.
Who?
Is it Val Venus? Val Venus is kind of.
Val Venus. I forgot about Val Venus.
For a different reason, though.
The point is, there's only a handful of guys whose their gimmick and their character was their body. And for me, so I told Cody before we started that I was overthinking one of them, and it was this one because obviously like Lex Luger is enormous, but my thing was like, if my guy flies like Jushin Liger, it doesn't make sense for him to be as huge as Lex Luger because I'm overthinking, but he's not. But this guy is my number 1 anyway, so I'm going with the slightly smaller but much more chiseled Rick Rude.
Okay.
All right, so we'll talk honorable mentions after, and we can do a vote then. But Dom.
Yeah, I'm picking Okada. That's a good one. Yeah, Okada.
For luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a really good. I think
there's much. I think there's a lot of other guys. Well, Roman Reigns has a look. I almost picked Roman Reigns for a
But then you have to think about it, like Eric mentioned, like are you gonna expect that guy to like fly like a flying squirrel, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
It has to make sense. Like I'm sorry. When I look at Okada, like when I see him like be technical, I can see him be technical. Like when I can see him do moves similar to Rey Mysterio, I can see him do that. Like Roman Reigns is a bit harder to imagine for me.
Yeah, when I like sounded surprised they said Okada, I wasn't surprised because I thought it was a bad pick. It just I just was not expecting Okada to be picked there.
I mean, he looks. When I look at him, he screams superstar for me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Just in terms of looks, I think he has it. You don't know for looks. You don't always have to like be just chiseled. Like when I would have just picked the chisel guy, I probably would have just picked, I don't know, Mason Ryan or somebody like that. You know, like it's just it's a different look for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So should we vote first, or should we go through some honorable mentions?
I think we should do honorable mentions first.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we just go category by category?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start. Where should we start?
Just from the top, I guess.
Okay. Let's just start with IQ, because I think I've got IQ at the top of my list here.
Okay.
So for me, I told you guys obviously Paul Heyman, but for somebody that I haven't talked about yet, I think, but it's different because I had a different criteria for wrestling IQ. It sounds like, but I was going to pick, but another one that was on my list was Dutch Mantel, who, if you guys don't know who that is, that's when he was in WWE, it was Zeb Coulter. Yeah, not the greatest wrestler ever, but another just fantastic, just booking mind. I was thinking more. I wasn't really thinking in-ring IQ. I was thinking like putting together a match and just understanding the business IQ. And it doesn't get much better than guys like Paul Heyman, like Dutch Mantel. Yeah. So that's my criteria. Those are honorable mentions for my criteria.
You can go though.
I'll go for IQ real quick. Undertaker, I'm surprised wasn't mentioned at all. I mean, if you see, not CM Punk, no. I hate to say it, and it might sound like a doofus, but the Young Bucks, Nick or Matt, like you can say what they want, but they capitalized on merch sales like no one has ever done. At least.
Oh no, I think they're probably the best. Like they're probably the best like businessmen in wrestling history.
Yeah, and I mean, you can say, my opinion, I feel like they can still put a good match on. If it's a technical match, if it's a match working something like a body part, I have seen them do it very well. So I think they should get an honorable mention. Same with Kenny and Cody, I guess. And then,
Okay.
and then I guess yeah, I think that's it for me from what top of my head.
Wrestling IQ, I almost picked Randy Orton for this because I think Randy was very good. I think Edge is very good.
Edge, yeah, Edge.
Edge came up in my mind a lot. Like Mike Skills, I almost picked Edge because like Edge is so underrated.
Look
like,
as well for me. For me, look,
he has a look. Wrestling IQ, I really this was probably the toughest subcategory to really like describe because we all have different ideas of what wrestling IQ is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just really happy to get AJ because AJ has the wrestling.
That was my first pick, so I thought I was gonna pull a trifecta with Brian, AJ, and Rock. Oh well.
Yeah, so the next on my list is Mike Skills. So obviously I talked about Dusty Rhodes, so I won't talk too much more about him. There was obviously Cody mentioned John Cena. I still think Paul Heyman fits in Mike Skills perfectly.
I just didn't want to pick a manager or any of that.
Well, technically it wouldn't count because we were building a wrestler.
Yeah, wrestler.
With all these. So like Paul Heyman's never wrestled. So
like Vince McMahon would have been a good one too, in my opinion.
Vince has wrestled though, so you technically
Vince technically has wrestled.
I'm still not gonna pick Mobile Punk, but he would have been a good bargain then.
Who else? Jake Roberts, great Mike Skills. Miz.
Triple H is very good.
Trips,
Triple H. Jericho, I would say.
I mean, this one can go forever because there's so
many. Kevin Owens. Adam Cole. Adam Cole is very good.
This one can go for this one we can go forever because there's so many good Mike guys.
Bray Wyatt.
I was really hoping no one picked Daniel Bryan. I honestly think I could pick Daniel Bryan for any of the categories other than look. Any of the categories other than look.
Yeah.
Because he used to be a high flyer back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of look, that's next on my list, and so I guess I had a different criteria for look because I was literally just when I thought of look, I literally was just thinking of just body. So my list was so my list was obviously like Rick Rude, Lex Luger, The Ultimate Warrior. Seth Rollins was on my list. He's chiseled. I was looking at guys like Batista, just guys that when you look at them, you're like, shit, that's a professional wrestler.
Yeah, but so nowadays, back in the day, I completely understand Rick Rude. Like you would be like, that guy's a professional wrestler. But now when if I see someone like that, I'm like, oh, that dude's a bodybuilder. I feel like there's a difference now. Like I was taking a look at it and like that guy, he's cutting a promo in the ring, and he's talking, but the TV's muted. I still want to listen to what that guy has to say because he just looks like he's the real deal.
No, I agree with Cody. For me, it was more like things you can't fix, like muscle and stuff. You can always bulk up or bulk down. Height was very important for me for having good height. So Okada, he's 6'5". For the women, somebody who's good looking. So honestly, Okada is pretty good looking. I was thinking about Kota Ibushi as well. I think Kota Ibushi is a really good look. Somebody just screams charisma. I feel like he just screams charisma to me.
What about LA Knight? Would you guys think LA Knight's
He looks like a drunk dad on TV.
LA Knight could be perfect for Mike Hill. He's fucking fire on the mic.
Yeah.
He's a killer on the mic.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay.
And so he's another category that we could go on forever with is technical. And there's so many. Cody picked Brett, but you could also pick Owen. You could pick Mr. Perfect. You can pick
Mr. Perfect.
Kyle O'Reilly.
I was very so I picked Bret Hart first, obviously, because I think he's 1A when it comes to technical wrestling. But right under that is Bryan Danielson, and I really thought I did not think Dom was going to pick him. I thought he was going to pick Zack Sabre Jr. for that category. So
that's a good pick too.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. is a fantastic.
That's a very, very good pick.
And
I thought I was gonna get lucky and get him somewhere.
If we wanted to dig a name off the band list, we could have said Chris Benoit. Fantastic technical wrestler.
But with Chris
Kurt
Benoit,
Angle.
with Chris
Kurt Angle was picked.
Benoit, I feel like there's like even 5 guys we haven't picked. I would rather pick. I would rather pick Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr., Mr. Perfect, Dean Malenko. I would rather pick.
Dean Malenko, yeah, that's a good one.
Like there's a couple guys I would rather pick, honestly. Nothing
I
against
have a
Benoit,
name
but
that just popped in my head for wrestling IQ that I think we all kind of missed.
who?
Walter. Walter is for wrestling IQ. Eric's like fuck. Yeah,
I
but
mean,
like
it's definitely the weakest name we mentioned for IQ, though. In my opinion.
Maybe.
In my opinion.
So let's go to drawing real quick.
Drawing.
So yeah, I wanna hear what you guys think. Like, cause like Don, who'd you pick for drawing? The Rock?
Yeah.
Don picked Rock.
So we picked all old school people. And if you had to pick current day, who would be probably like not current day, but like ruthless aggression, like John Cena, obviously.
I think Brock Lesnar.
Undertaker.
Brock Lesnar has huge drawing power. Undertaker has huge.
Also, Hiroshi Tanahashi. That man literally saved a company that's New Japan. Without him, they probably wouldn't be there anymore, honestly.
I would say Kenny Omega.
Yes. Omega. Yes. Omega. Okada maybe as well.
Because back in the day, maybe Shinsuke when he was doing his New Japan stuff.
Inoki.
Antonio Inoki for sure. 100% Antonio Inoki.
Yep. Maybe I should have picked Inoki now because that man by himself like sold out stadiums.
He was the only in the those infamous Korea shows.
Yeah.
Inoki is the only person that got popped.
Like,
and they popped huge for Inoki.
That man, that should have. Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe I should have picked AJ Styles for IQ and then Inoki after. Oh well. But then again, you guys are the ones voting for it, so Inoki might not be as piquing.
I'll be quite honest. I have no idea who you're talking
See, it wouldn't pique your interest as much as someone like The Rock would, so it's kind of hard to say.
Well, I was definitely picking The Rock with Connection. Connection, probably.
I was gonna take Rock for Connection if
so you think
Dom
I should
hadn't
have
taken it for me.
You think I put Rock in Connection instead of Daniel Bryan?
Well, so honestly, I think Daniel Bryan's a better pick for Connection. Honestly,
okay. All right.
I was saying given the. I totally think that Daniel Bryan was better pick for Connection than Rock.
I do agree too. But I knew in my heart, like once I picked Bret Hart, that Bryan Danielson probably wasn't coming back to me. I didn't think he would have.
I knew no one was gonna pick Punk.
Yeah, because Rock was definitely.
I almost picked him for Mike. I almost picked him for Mike.
Over who?
Because
MJF.
The thing with MJF, like this is what I said with the CM Punk. Why didn't I pick Roberts? You just don't know how he works as a face on a mic, and that's just big for me.
I don't want to ever find out how he works as a face.
I mean, obviously, I agree with you.
Well, technically, we do kind of, sort of, right? When he was with Cody, was he more?
He was never when he was with Cody. He was always tweening.
I wouldn't say he was a face.
Yeah.
And what's the next category?
So, we can go from draw. We can just go to Connection with fans. I think a really underrated one. I think Daniel Bryan was the best. He was my number one.
I'm glad I got him.
I think someone who was so I only did my top 3 for everyone. But if I had extended it to 5, Mick Foley definitely would have been there.
Okay. John Cena, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know who was a good one, but I probably wouldn't have been picked in my top 3 at all? Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is a big one. That man, in terms of connection, I mean, people still, when he's not on TV, people get pissed. Like literally.
And then I think Punk would be a good one here too.
Punk, yes, Punk, and Jeff Hardy. I feel like those are like for anybody who's alternative and into wrestling, like they look at Punk and Jeff Hardy as like the messiahs. And then for the underdog, it's just Daniel Bryan.
For what?
Did you have any honorable mentions for Connection with fans?
I mean, like I was, Shawn Michaels has a really good connection with fans. I think trying to think of like names that we haven't said already. Like, CM Punk's a really good one. Like CM Punk, like he gets what the fans want. Like he gets.
Jeff is good. Jeff Hardy's good.
Jeff is good. Jeff is good. I think Jeff is more like he's more good. Don't like take this as like a jab or anything, but
Okay.
he's more good as because he's the underdog.
No, but you can say the same thing about Brian.
Yeah. But
Okay.
even as a heel, Brian, like the fans are still like 100%.
But that was after. But that was after WrestleMania.
Yeah, but no, even before when he was doing the whole the Kane stuff when he was a heel, everybody loved that shit.
Okay.
I loved that shit. That
Would you say he was a heel with Kane? They were more baby
right before.
face.
Remember when he was gonna get married to AJ? And The Rock came.
When they started tagging though, he became a face.
Well, yeah, he was more of a tweener and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people for every category. Like,
yeah,
we don't.
I mean,
we
only have one more category left anyway. So and it's flying, which I think which probably has the most honorable mentions. So I'll just say, since we don't need to say a million names for this. So I said Cody.
Yeah.
I said there's somebody that I was positive you were gonna pick, and I thought it was gonna be Ricochet. Yeah, I thought for sure it was Ricochet.
So Ricochet's amazing in the air, but he just doesn't have enough like stuff. He just doesn't do anything else. Like I love high flyers, but you need to be able to like.
But you're only picking one aspect of the pro wrestler.
Yeah, but like
high flying.
I mean, Eddie was obviously a great pick for that as well. So it's not like there was no like missing there.
Yeah.
I would say Kota Ibushi for me. That one because when I think of high flying, I also want to think of intensity. I don't want to feel of them getting so much air to start floating. I like it when it's like.
Oh, I have a great connection one. I just thought of.
Go ahead.
Johnny Gargano.
Nice.
Johnny Gargano.
Back in the maybe not now, but like around like 2017, 18. Yeah.
When the Ciampa stuff is going on, he was the most over person in NXT.
What about Sami Zayn then?
Sami Zayn.
Sammy back in those days.
He's lost a lot of it just
of course. But when he gets over, he gets over.
Kevin Owens too, because like we could have had so many people. I just think we picked the best of the best. So I would say let's title off. Let's name each of our lists, and then we'll vote.
Okay.
Just like we do every month. All right, so I'll go first with my list. Technical wrestling, Bret Hart. High flying, Eddie Guerrero. Mike Skills, Maxwell, Jacob Freeman. Look, Randy Orton. Connection, HBK. Shawn Michaels, Wrestling IQ. AJ Styles, and Drawing Power, Hulk. Hogan.
Okay.
All right, I'll go next. So I have Drawing Power, Andre the Giant. Connection with Fans, Stone Cold. High flying.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, sorry. Okay, so high flying, Jushin Thunder Liger. Technical, William Regal. Look, Rick Rude. Mike Skills, Ric Flair. And Wrestling IQ, Jake Roberts.
I'm trying to compare you guys as both, so that's one.
Yeah, actually, I can. So actually, while we were going over honorable mentions, what I did is, so I have all three of our lists right here. So I was just going through like each category and giving a check mark to whichever.
Yeah, can you I'll say mine, and then can you just say who each of us picked for each category? Okay. From technical wrestling, Kurt Angle, Perk Angle, gold medalist. For high flying,
freaking neck.
High flying Rey Mysterio, Mike Skills, CM Punk, the best in the world. Look, Okada, Connection, Daniel Bryan, IQ, Chris Jericho, and then Draw, The Rock. So can you say yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll go. Do you want me to say both mine and Cody's? So I want both written down.
No, just say in each category.
Say all three. Say like technical.
Yeah.
So
because I want to.
So this is actually. Yeah. So this was very close. This is very close for me. I have my vote written down.
Oh
so
no, I'm asking. No, I'm asking.
He wants you to name all the. He said he wants you to name technical, and then say which all three of us have.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I can compare the two. Because we have seven categories. so I can do
Yeah.
matchups.
Okay. So drawing power, Cody has Hogan, Dom has The Rock, I have Andre. And I assume it's same for fantasy booking. We're not voting for ourselves.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and then
for ourselves.
yeah, and then connection with fans, Cody has HBK, Dom has Daniel Bryan, I have Stone Cold. High flying.
Wait. You had Stone Cold?
I have Stone Cold for connection with fans.
Who'd you have for draw?
Andre the Giant.
And who did Cody have for draw?
Hogan.
Hogan.
Okay. Go ahead.
Then high flying, Cody has Eddie Guerrero. Dom has Rey Mysterio. I have Jushin Thunder Liger. And then technical, Cody has Bret Hart. Dom Kurt Angle. I have William Regal. Then look, Cody has Randy Orton. Dom has Okada. I have Rick Rude. Mike skills, Cody has MJF. Dom has CM Punk. I have Ric Flair. And then wrestling IQ, Cody has AJ Styles. Dom has Chris Jericho. I have Jake Roberts.
Oh shit.
So I can go first if you guys want, since I've already got my vote.
Yeah, I'm writing my notes down right now. I gave everybody a point for which one I thought was
me too. The same.
Yeah, I gave 1 point for whoever I thought had the best category, and mine actually came down to 4-3.
Mine did too.
Yeah, so because for draw between Hulk Hogan and The Rock was really tough, but I gave it to Hogan just because it's Hulk fucking Hogan. So he's the second biggest draw in wrestling history behind Andre. Connection with fans, obviously Daniel Bryan. Technical, Bret Hart. I gave the look to Randy Orton. Then I gave Mike to Punk. IQ to Jericho. So for me, it came down to Fly. And between Eddie and Rey Mysterio, fuck, that's so fucking hard.
I remember Eddie's dead.
But yeah, all things considered, I did end up giving it to Dom.
Okay.
Cut.
Should I go next or?
It was tough. It was tough, but Ray's a fucking icon. What are you gonna do?
Wait, Cody.
You go next because you already have one vote.
All right. So I'll do the same that Eric did. I had William Regal as a better technical wrestler as Bret Hart. You guys might like put your eyes on that, but in terms of just maneuverability and smoothness, it's really hard to beat. It was really tough. Thunder Liger, I had more, I guess. Yeah. Then I had for the mic skills, I had Flair over MJF. I don't think that should be a surprise. I'm sorry. Then I had for look, I had Orton over Rick Rude. Like I said, that's not bull.
No, I'm fucking with you.
AJ Styles with IQ over whoever you had. I think that's pretty obvious to me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then which one was it? Hulk Hogan over Giant. I know you can say what you want.
Debatable, but okay.
Hulk Hogan,
I know.
It's your vote. It's not debatable, if I'm being honest.
But you can say what you want. But if Hogan didn't go to WCW, there wouldn't be wars. And I don't know if
who made Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania 3.
That's not what the debate is about.
I know. I'm not arguing. I'm just it's your opinion. I'm just saying.
About.
I know.
And then I think we left off with Connection, which was
Connection with fans.
Connection with fans.
HBK versus Stone Cold.
Oh, and I honestly had to give it to Stone Cold for that one. Nothing against Shawn, but there's a reason why people like the Attitude Era more than the whatever new era was. What Shawn Michaels was dominating, new era. That's the reason why when it shifted from Shawn Michaels to Austin, it started booming.
He lost his smile. God damn.
I had Eric get the dub.
All right.
That's what
So,
Cody's the
close,
I feel
close.
like Cody's always the deciding vote.
so honestly, at first, I think I have the best list. So I don't even care what anybody says. I think my list is better than both of yours. So
Okay.
can you guys name each category? I voted, but I didn't write what who's who was.
Okay.
I just wrote
Okay, so-
the initials for each of your names.
Wrestling IQ was Dom has Chris Jericho. I had Jake the Snake. Go ahead and give that to Dom if you want.
Yeah, I gave it to Chris
Yeah. Mike skills. I had Flair. Dom had Punk.
I went CM Punk.
Ooh.
The fuck, man. Okay.
It's two.
Look, Okada. Dom had Okada. I had Rick Rude.
He's gonna give it to Rude.
I had Rick Rude.
Yeah, of course. No one wanted likes Okada's look. You guys are dicks.
Then technical was Dom had Kurt Angle. I had William Regal.
Kurt Angle.
Did you say I couldn't? I legitimately did.
Kurt
Did you say
Angle.
Angle. Okay.
Kurt
I couldn't tell if you said Angle or Regal.
He still hasn't said
And
Daniel
then-
Bryan yet, so I might as well call it now.
And then High Fly was Mysterio and Jushin Liger.
I gave it to Rey Mysterio.
He doesn't
You
know
said you were just
Liger.
4-3. What the fuck is this?
I was lying.
Okay, fans Daniel Bryan, Stone Cold,
Daniel Bryan.
and then draw Andre the Giant, The Rock.
The Rock.
It's 6-1.
Okay, that was a smear campaign. That's nonsense.
I mean, which ones was I wrong on?
Andre, you were both wrong about Andre.
Oh,
No.
I was
I'll say
not.
that right off. I'll say that right off the bat.
No.
You're both wrong about Andre. You're both wrong. No, you were.
I don't
Cody
know
was right
why.
about Rick Rude.
Eric, I don't know why you picked Andre this early. No one was gonna pick him
How was no one gonna pick him?
because we think there's bigger draws out there. The reason we say that is because when Andre was in his prime, the TV for wrestling wasn't booming as it was like in the 90s. And that's
It's
a
not
big
about TV.
part. And yes, because
It's money draw. I was going by money draw.
Yes.
If you adjust for inflation,
There
then no one
weren't
touched
There
on it.
weren't pay-per-view buys back then, Eric.
Yeah, but
that's why I couldn't do
that's
Inoki.
ridiculous. I'm
That's why I
saying that's
couldn't do
ridiculous.
Inoki.
I'm saying that's a ridiculous argument.
How?
I mean, if you think about it right now, right? What was WrestleMania 3 is probably Andre the Giant's like highest, most people in the stadium, correct?
Probably. That was also the end of his career.
The record has been broken like 15 times since then. So
Only because they're going into bigger venues. They don't sell out those
and I
venues.
still don't think so I agree with Dom when he said that the Attitude Era was the best because most of the part because of Stone Cold. I don't think Andre the Giant was the only one that would. I don't think Andre the Giant. So when you think of the face of that era, I don't think of Andre the Giant. I think Hulk Hogan.
You know what it is because Andre Andre was a lot in the territories, so he wasn't in like
right?
but if you watch there's multiple documentaries about Andre the Giant, and I guess the problem is I've seen them and you guys have not. So
I mean,
and that's
he had the shit on the top.
I'm not saying this is like an insult or an elitist thing. I'm just saying like I've read a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things where you understand you don't understand how big of a draw Andre was unless you no. I'm not saying this to be a dick and say you guys are wrong. I'm just saying because Andre was so long ago, because he was before the pay-per-view era, because he was before all of these things, you have to do some independent research to really understand what a draw he was.
Okay, I'll say this, and then I'll leave it alone. The reason I didn't say if Andre was switch Andre with Hulk Hogan in terms of era, because Hogan was a little bit they weren't the same era. They were like
They weren't, but they were in the same era at one point.
At one point.
But that was at like kind of the end of Andre's
Andre
run
the Giant was a little earlier than Hogan, right?
But who made Hogan? You have to understand that WrestleMania
itself.
Listen what I'm about to listen. Like I said, when I look at draw, I took an account making money, of course, right? That's what a draw is. We can. Oh my God, Eric!
What? I'm just
okay.
gonna arbitrarily Google search biggest draws in pro wrestling history and see who's number one.
I mean, because did you
I
do
can
that?
guarantee you.
Is that what
I
you
can
did?
guarantee. You know what? I'm a bet. I'm a bet my. No, I wouldn't say my life. I can bet that Hulk Hogan
mean,
made
Dom, it's
more
not gonna
money
really
for
go
his
anyways.
companies than Andre did. Maybe
What?
Inoki made even more than Andre for the companies. Talking about money, because that's what the draw is. Draw is making money, and the reason I wouldn't put Andre over Hogan is because the TV deals weren't, or pay-per-views weren't back then, and that's
That's
what
perfect.
made
No, that's perfectly fair.
a
That's
lot of
perfectly
money.
fair.
Yeah,
That's
that's why
perfectly
I'm
fair.
saying that Hulk Hogan was
Yep.
a bigger draw because of the pay-per-view money. That's what I look at it as. Draw is money. Even now, honestly, maybe like in the future there might be even a bigger draw, not in terms
Okay,
of
well-
popularity, but
Okay.
because of money making. Because now we have
So what was
social
Can
media.
I ask you a question? What was a
Okay,
better
okay.
show, WrestleMania 3 or WrestleMania 32? Because more people went to one of them than the other, and one of them sucked.
It's not about making.
WrestleMania 32 easily.
It's not about. But the thing is, draw is not about good or bad. Like we can agree, Hulk Hogan is not a great wrestler, right?
Agreed. And neither was Andre. Andre wasn't a great wrestler.
Exactly, but it's not about that. It's about making money. That's what its draw is about. If it was
I'm getting a lot
technical
of, like-
wrestling, it would have been different. We wouldn't have said Andre.
I don't think Eric can find the stat.
No,
where
because I'm
it
seeing,
says-
no, because I'm seeing, no, because I'm finding a bunch of it's like Reddit lists. I'm trying to find
Reddit.
legit and like what culture and stuff. I'm trying to find actual reputable
Money.
sources.
Money. If you ain't talking about money, I don't want to hear.
I just read now that the biggest draws were Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, and Bruno Sammartino.
This is Sportskeeda is the most legitimate I can find so far. Their top 5 is, and I haven't read this beforehand, so I'm literally reading it right now. So I might have to put an egg on my face in just a sec. So number 5 is Stone Cold. 4 is Hogan. Next page. And this is Sportskeeda, however you want to take their word. The Undertaker.
I never heard of them, so I'll definitely
The
take
Undertaker's number 3. Number 2 is The Rock. 2 is Rock. And next page for number 1. Whoa. Who's that? At number 1. Is that Andre the Giant?
Wait, you're telling me Inoki's not on
Say
that
number
list? That's
1.
bullshit.
This list is it's not like the list is ranking the 5 biggest box office draws in WWE history. So Inoki doesn't qualify.
Andre the Giant was never in WWE. He was in
Okay.
WWF.
And also, if you want to say
Ridiculous.
WWE, right? What and we're talking about pro wrestling, you have to take in consideration Hulk Hogan's WCW one then, right?
And technically, Andre the Giant was never in what we call WWE. He was in WWF in the territories and WWF.
They're definitely not taking in consideration just WWE. If that's then.
And let me read. Let me read the Hulk Hogan thing and make sure it doesn't talk about his WCW.
Okay.
When
And same with
Vince
Andre.
McMahon purchased the company, his hand in globally popularizing blah blah. As wrestling's first global
Can't
megastar,
believe we're
Hulk
arguing
Hogan
about
raised
Andre
to
the Giant and Hulk
superstar.
Hogan at
All right, I
11.
found something. The 5 highest and 5 lowest drawing WWE champions of all time.
Oh, champions though, not superstars.
We're not
Number
talking
5.
about champions, so I don't know why you bring this
Number
up.
5 is Andre the Giant. So
But we're not talking about champion drawing. We're just talking about in general.
Yeah, because that's a little bit different. Because that's their draw when they were the champion.
Yeah, that's different. But if it's
Like I'll tell you right now without
But I have one on IMDb. I feel like that's like
IMDb.
really the movie.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was gonna say
They don't list them. They just-
I'm gonna look up that 5 highest and lowest ones. I think I know exactly the lowest one's gonna be.
Gender. No, actually,
No, it's gonna be Kevin Nash.
No, it wasn't.
It's gonna be Diesel. It wasn't Diesel.
Actually, no. I
So
didn't read that far. To be honest.
It's not gender because gender they got the India money, 100%.
Yeah. Hinder.
They got
5
the
highest
India.
and lowest
They got the India
drawing
money.
WWE champs of all time.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm gonna
it's
read this. And yeah, here's highest Andre,
Rey Mysterio
lowest
is the lowest
Bret
one because
Hart,
he was only the champion for one
Cena,
day.
Psycho Sid, Rock, Miz, Hogan.
Miz,
Michaels.
yeah, Miz.
Okay, so the number 1, yeah, I called it lowest Diesel.
Yep. Makes sense. Kevin Nash was just better in WCW anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we've to break us for a second, we have digressed completely from what we were doing here. So if I may wrap it up really quick. So this has been another episode of Wrestlepoint. Obviously we had Dom came out on top today for our I
I deserve some retribution. no pun intended. After that awful decision of fantasy booking you guys made.
Yeah. Which speaking of fantasy booking, I've won the last 2 fantasy bookings. So
Yes.
it sounds like one of
Honestly,
us needs to step it up with the creative stuff.
I think Dom refuses to vote for me because I think I had the best
No,
list
it's
tonight.
not. It's
No.
I
not
think
it.
I had. Yeah,
No,
Dom has not voted for me once, so I think there's a conspiracy going
It's
around.
not.
no, I think that just means
Just because he
somebody.
had, just
I think
because,
that just means.
just
I
because
think
he
that
had
means there's a
literally,
superior
he had
wrestling
literally
mind.
the worst fantasy. He had literally the worst fantasy booking of all time yesterday.
It was not the worst. It was not the worst of all time.
It was
Tom,
purely
hey,
explained. I'll say
to give more credit to Dom's point of view, there I guarantee that if you read our 3 fantasy bookings to an AEW crowd and just to like you get an arena of like 10,000 AEW fans and read them our 3 fantasy bookings and the vote, I bet Dom wins by far.
I mean, obviously, because mine
This is
the
how I
only-
feel
No,
right
yeah.
now.
And
This is how I
that's what
feel
I'm
right
saying.
now.
And what I'm saying is, what I mean by that is there is an audience for literally everything. There is
Except for
just
Nia
because like
for Nia
Cody and I just happen to not be the audience for that, but there is an audience for what for Dom's story.
I want to do a woman's now. Can we do it now or next week or whatever? I want to do a
I
woman's.
mean, I don't think we should do it now. I'm not prepared.
I'm not
mean, neither
prepared
am
at
I.
all. I'm not prepared at all.
I wasn't even prepared coming in today. And look at me.
We can make that. This was supposed to be next Friday, so we can make next Friday the women's.
Okay.
That works.
Are we gonna keep the same categories?
Yes. These
I
two
think so.
These 2 goofs couldn't watch SmackDown, which was a good SmackDown.
I watched half of it.
And
All
I'm
right, well,
boycotting Rampage.
Also, quick question by the female slope. Like, are we gonna? How is that gonna work?
I mean, look. I think look.
Well, we had different criterias for it today.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Because with women, it's gonna be a little bit different because it's obviously
gonna be very different.
There's what you ask Vince McMahon what his criteria is, but then there's people who say but then at the same,
he falls off the chair.
But at the same time, I think there's also an argument to be made that Awesome Kong has a fantastic look. I think there's an argument to be made for that.
Yeah. Should we clarify
Dom's gonna try to pick Bayley and Dakota Kai for a look.
No.
All right. Well, I think we should end this episode. We will be back Tuesday, I think, for a Raw review. But
because there's no more Monday for Dynamite.
We will see you all Tuesday. I won. I got screwed.